Who will be our next Prime Minister? Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak? In just 6 weeks' time, one of them will be moving into number 10 Downing Street.
When we get in, we'll have to see what happens to energy bills. I think people have seen from me over the past couple of years that as the situation changes on the ground, I'm always going to respond to support people through it.
I would act immediately. I understand that people here, people around the country are struggling with some of the worst cost of living problems that we've had for generations. It's hard to pay for fuel, it's hard to pay for food. I would reverse the increase in national insurance. Under my plans, we would start paying down the debt in 3 years' time. So I'm not putting it on the never, never. I would start paying it down in 3 years.
That's simply not right. You promised almost £40 billion of unfunded tax cuts, £40 billion more borrowing. That is the country's credit card. Their mortgage rates are almost 50% higher than mortgage rates in this country because they're borrowing so much.
I'm sorry, this is scaremongering.
Canada actually
this is
has
Project Fear.
Liz, I remember the referendum campaign. I remember the referendum campaign, and there were only one of us who was on the side of Remain and Project Fear, and it was you, not me.
Well, I was a environmentalist before it was fashionable. I was a teenage eco-warrior campaigning against damage to the ozone layer, and I've always taken the view that we should save our resources. I'm naturally a thrifty person. I like saving money, and it also helps the environment. So it's about using less, wasting less, particularly food waste, which I think is, a massive problem in this country.
And I wasn't born this way, right? My family emigrated here 60 years ago. I told you about my mum. She ran the local chemist in Southampton. That's where I grew up working, in the shop, delivering medicines. I worked as a waiter at the Indian restaurant down the road. And I'm standing here because of the hard work, the sacrifice and love of my parents and the opportunities they provided for me.